What's up, everybody? Uh, I think I didn't make a video in how many days or weeks or whatever. So it's a new year and the same old crap. So I'm going to link a video down on what I saw on two lives, and one thing that I see is that a lot of the people who are in the space or in the black space, they they're pretenders. Like I said before, I think they just like to hear themselves talk, or they like to, they like to hear themselves talk. And it shows with their actions. So I've been going around searching for certain things, and the thing that I've seen is that men on the other side, there's guys like a Tony Maceo who tell average guys or guys or educated lames or whatever to pay for bills for females. And it doesn't matter how much this woman brings anything into this guy's life. If she looks good, then you have to pay for it. But what he doesn't tell you is that what do these women look like? Do these women make the nerds get hard, or do it make him and other people who pay for those women get hard? See, he doesn't care about the dudes telling him that they can't pay for sex, because the fact is it's not worth it. See, I always said like this: you telling somebody to go pay 75, but $75 can get you a lot with something. An average video game is $64 plus tax. That average game can last about 2-3 years at best. And if it comes out with a sequel, it depends on how far the sequel is between the first game and the sequel, right? So you can always pick up that game and get your money's worth. I calculated like this: if you got a job, you pay for that video game, you calculate how many hours you had to work to get that money back, and then you add how many hours that game has to beat it. Then you add to the point where, can you get more out of this game after you put it down? And if you want to pick this game back up, with paying for females, you won't be able to do this, because it's always going to be a price tag behind you, what you're trying to do, right? But what I seen with this dude Tony Maceo, and the Tony Maceo and the Nicole Michelle and the C Boogie's collaboration, is they want average dudes to be unhappy with average women. We live in a society now where the average woman gets so much attention, she thinks she's better than the average dude. We live in a society right now in America where an artistic female don't want to get with an artistic man. A big female don't want to get with a big man. A woman with mental issues don't want to get with another person who got mental issues. A socially awkward female don't want to be called socially awkward. She doesn't want to go with a socially awkward guy. We have women with no legs don't want to get with guys with no legs. We got women with no arms don't want to get with guys with no arms, or one arm, and she want guys to go out with her that got both arms. We got women here who literally hide all their flaws and hide all their flaws with fake hair. But these are the same women who don't want to go out with guys who have bald spots in their hair. We got women who look like this, but don't want to get with guys who look like this. We got people who look just like this who don't want to get with guys who have the same hairline. We got women who want to look like this, but want a guy who got straight eyes. Women like this who want guys who are fit. We got women like this want to get with guys who are fit, who don't have to put on makeup, so she can get with super fit guys and ripped guys and guys who got money and all this other stuff. So what I'm starting to notice with these dudes like a Tony Macy or C Boogie and all these other people who go against guys who SYSBM are traveling, what their complaints are is basically them trying to save the average woman, because the average woman now is becoming obsolete, and they're showing themselves to be that because they put themselves in that position where they thought they were better than the average man. So the average man is not going to go for an average female anymore. He's going to go for above average woman in another country. These dudes, because I listened to one of these dudes before. I listened to a thing that made me promote this. These guys promote guys to always be under females. They would never tell you the bad side of the so-called select guy. You know, like Jeremy Meeks, when he got cheated on by his $1 billion female with an older gentleman. The guy's 50 years old, but he was ripped or whatever. She had sex with that dude on the boat. But these dudes would never talk about Jeremy Meeks getting played or any of these other getting played. You know why? Because their whole thing is, let's save the average woman, give her the bigger deal, give her the best deal possible, and let the average man be pushed to suicide and his money given to this average girl. Because they never go into the sex life of what an average guy, an average female would do for a man. Because most of these average women do not even know how to have sex appeal. We never asked that question, do average women actually do their best to get with average men? But we always try to tell average men they need to get with average women. The quote unquote, aka stay in your lane. Because these guys think that the average man is not, he can't handle the good looking woman. But they would never tell the stories of average men getting with above average women in other countries. And it works. They would never show you a picture of this couple right here. And at the time, she's above average. More than average. Because if you seen her in her Instagram at the time or whatever, she looked better than the girls that can match his looks, right? They'll never tell you these stories. They'll never show you this right here. They'll never show you this right here. Even though it ain't bad. But they'll never show you this right here, right? They'll never show you men being happy. They will always try to put an asterisk next to the average guy when he's with a pretty woman. Because in their mind, average men can never win in any situation. In their mind, average men must pay a toll. Because that's what they think. But there's many average men right now who are dating women in other cultures and dating better looking women because it was in their culture to go with women. See, other cultures seem to have better looking women than the women here, right? It seems like they breed them just good looking, right? If you go and you stack up the average so-called Latina, the average Asian, and the average any type of woman all around the world, you'll find that they are way better looking than the average women over here. But they don't tell you that, right? Because they want you to be playing their average game, because they want you to be unhappy. They want you to be in a world where they always win. Because if an average man, with them, if an average man is with an average female, he's not going to shut the hell up. He won't be busy to come online crying and whining about women. He'll be happy. But these dudes don't understand that there's many average dudes out here with average women, and these average women are cheating on them, or they're paying bills like this. They're paying bills like this from an average female. So he's pulling out his pocket for close to no kind of type of sex. He can't look at his chick and be worthy of her. And then these dudes say things like, well, Bill Gates is with an average woman. Well, why didn't you finish that sentence? Bill Gates got with his wife after he became a billionaire, not before he became a billionaire. And he was with her because it made him look good, and he wanted to have kids. He wasn't with her because he actually, whatever this dude said, right? But he don't show you that what Bill Gates' wife are actually buying and paying for. This is the real price of what you have to pay as an average man for an average female, instead of her cutting all this stuff out because she's average and it shouldn't cost that much to take care of an average female. But the one thing they don't tell you is these average females want to be beautiful females. They go out all the time instead of staying their average ass home and taking care of their man and making him happy that he picked the average girl. He has to pay the girlfriend cost. He has to pay the quote unquote beta bucks, right? And this is the cost of what beta bucks really look like, right? It's between hair, makeup, clothes and shoes, hair products, skin products, hygiene products, material things, events, going out, handbags, and you might lose your life or lose life work being with this average chick. See, if you're gonna roll the dice, you might as well enjoy rolling the dice on certain things. And sometimes it's better to have a golden trophy of you working your ass off and you at least won that trophy in that time period, instead of looking at a trophy that got dirt and grime on it and you're sitting there saying, I did all this for that. Some of this stuff, I'm starting to see that these dudes really don't want average men to be happy. They don't want men to be happy. They don't want men happy to be general. They just want women to be happy. And with them being happy, they think that if men get with these women, they won't be online. But it's going to be the opposite. There's going to be a lot of mass suicides that goes on because it's happening before. Tommy already made a video about a average man being with an average woman and he getting her car. And then he took her out and he took himself out because she wasn't appreciative of what he paid for. And she was doing all this crazy stuff to him this whole many years. But he probably got exhausted from dating random women over and over again and trying to look for the one. Because, and then that's what they don't talk about when it comes to men too. That some men get exhausted just going from woman to woman, just find the right woman. And keep going through these average women and keep going. And they're on their 50th girl. And then guys like them and Tony Maceo and C Boogie and Cole Michelle, it's your fault, man. You don't have a good enough. You're not good enough. But this guy did self-improve. Oh, you need to change your personality, man. You need to do this. But I'm in my lane and none of these women are satisfying me. So what again, is it my fault again? And it's always going to be your fault, average man. Average man. This is why SYSBM is more important than ever, because you can just leave this whole thing alone. See, if you take away all this, they're going to be alone. I mean, Tony Maceo is the same dude who didn't make not one video, as I seen it, about Lonnie Love. But he talks about the wall assignments and leaving quietly. But when men do leave quietly, you have Lonely Love on national TV saying that giving men a bad black men a bad name, saying black men don't know how to stay faithful, even though she's with a white dude. But this guy, him, C Boogie, and all these other people, they're gonna ignore that crap because they're gonna be like, oh, women say whatever they want. They're gonna say whatever they want. We're in we in this gripe because of y'all letting these women get away with so many years of disparaging black men's name. So black men got to come with all of this crap just to go enter in a relationship with another race of women, or they got to be the stereotypical, or they got to be clean cut and new because their name was disparaged by women like Lonnie Love. But then these dudes say, oh, you can do wall of silence. And this is what happens when you do the wall of silence. This cartoon depicts what you do with the wall of silence. 3 minutes later, the wall of silence. Stop bashing black women. Your mama's black. White women do it too. Misogyny, hate speech. What about black men? I done what you won't hear. Another word from me. Life is too short to be stuck in this endless debate. So obviously these dudes will continue to try it because they know that if they do what women say, Tony Maxio way of saying, I'm going to be the trick. He wins in that category because he's always going to have these so-called women 45 or whatever. But he doesn't tell you what these women might bring in your life. Then you got the C Boogie dude who dated interracially, but he wants guys to take all his, he's about dominating men he think is below him. And telling them what to do. And all this other stuff. Now, MOT was hitting him hard with these seminars and stuff like that. And for some reason, I don't know if they was friends or behind the scenes or whatever, because he said he's never going against military men. I understand that because certain people I won't go against because they're in the same thing as me. So I understand that. That's honorable right there. Me, I don't have that. Everybody got that C Boogie. And the Tony Mateo and people like them, people who talk about tricks and stuff, same thing as Obsidian, who walks around talking about he's 100% man, but then he picks up the mantle of SYSBM talking about I support it, and then he puts it in his title. But SYSBM guys are not about paying women's bills or weave or any of that crap. But then it's flawed of saying the wall of silence. I mean, the wall of silence can work when you actually don't let them participate in anything. Just like we haven't participated in any type of, when they was talking trash about black men. And they continue to do it even to this day. Lonnie Love is the recent one. And then the second one who was, it was a dark-skinned chick talking about other races of men don't talk about their women, but other races of men don't talk about their women because their women look 10 times better than the race of women we have. The other races of women don't wear weave a lot. And if they wear extensions, quote unquote extensions, they do it because they either want to attract a man or they do it to actually look 10 times better than what they do. But the fact is they take it all out and they still have long hair. Their length of their hair is at least at their shoulders or down or past their shoulder blades most of the time. They can always put a ponytail in their hair. That's the thing about you talking about other races of women who look better because they always got different eye colors. They got certain facial features that you won't have will always make them beat when it comes to looks. So the wall of silence in general doesn't work with a bunch of aggressive people who always get what they want. Now, it will work if all these dudes pull away, but you still got a whole bunch of simps on in the community and around and in society in general who would give these women attention and white knight for them. So when they do see certain guys move away and things start closing down, they still think that they are entitled to the guys who walked away or whatever attention or kind of praise and support they can probably muster from these dudes. So wall of silence don't work. So guys like these dudes never think about the Steve Urkel and Myra thing, right? Steve Urkel, it was a TV show. His mistake was not getting with Myra and trying to stay with Laura, right? Even though she played it for so many years. Now the real life nerds would actually get with Myra and stay with Myra. See, a lot of dudes, what the thing that they don't have is that when they tell guys to stay on a level, that's what guys doing. They're going to other countries, going with women in so-called third world countries, getting with women on a level, because you might not know that the women in that country don't like some of the men in their country. So we coming together to tell our stories, and we coming together to make a family, to come together. Don't ain't that the point of getting on your level? Stay in your lane. Oh, I'm gonna stay in my lane. I'm gonna stay in my lane with a female who knows how to respect order and looks good in another country, right? But they can't fathom that an average guy will cut the corners that they created and get with people they think shouldn't be with. King Sigma said it himself. It's kind of homophobic to look at other men and say, I don't think he belong. I don't think that guy should be with that female. Cause I'm bigger muscle than he does. I look better than him. This is why in other cultures, those type of dudes like a C Boogie or Tony Maceo, they put out the pasture by certain groups of men in that society. They the cleanup men per se in that society who takes care of these people who try to put down men. You don't hear in India where Indian guys telling other Indian guys to stay with the women in India. You don't see that in China. You don't see that in Dubai. Well, where is Tony Maceo and C Boogie and Nicole Michelle talking all that crap about Dubai men in Dubai, the rich guys in Dubai? Why do they import some of the best looking females that America has on celebrity and give them a lot of money, right? Why nobody tells them to, why don't they stay in Dubai and pay for the Dubai women? Because it makes them sound like a loser and they're whining and crying and all that. Why don't they tell that to the Indian men who can't get sex? Where the Indian incels at? Where the Chinese men incels? See, what these dudes didn't do, and what these guys like a Tony Mason don't understand, is that the government is already making sure that their men is giving what they want. China is now in plans on trying to take over the world, not just for their economics, but for their men. Because they're going to pick a handful of men to go in other countries, to take care of, go in other countries and go have their fun in other countries. This is why they went down to Africa, to take over the country, but also to take over the women's mindset and take over their bodies. And then when they're done with that, they're going to go to South America as well. So China's already making an expansion just for their men. Same thing with the Europeans did when they took around slavery. You think that slavery was all about the money and labor? It was about sexual prowess too, because they couldn't do it in Europe. So it's been done so many years in history where men get tired of where they living at. They don't want the women around them and they leave and go somewhere else. But they make money in their country. That's kind of like stupid to tell somebody, hey man, why are you bringing those girls over here with everybody, every other culture don't be liking their women, and that's the reason why they go over countries. They import women from other countries to their country to do what they want and then ship them back. Mexico do that. No man, no other country in their men telling them to go date the women in their country. Man, why are you bringing them countries? Why don't you bring the women over here? I never hear none of these people say that to their own men, except these black dudes. And they cape for the average woman, even though the average woman thinks she's better than the average man. Because the average man has been out here dating average women as long as you knew, and it doesn't work out. A lot of guys lost their lives. A lot of guys lost their money. A lot of guys lost their jobs. A lot of guys are homeless because they decided to get with the average woman and feel like the average woman was going to sit there and do all this stuff. But the average woman don't understand that she has to do certain things because the average man has already been told that he had to do more because he's average. But the average woman do not do more things because she's average. So it's imbalance. So they don't we can't build anything together. So why can't a Steve Urkel get with a Myra and find his Myra overseas? They want relationships to look like this, so they can laugh and giggle behind the backs of this man being with this woman. I mean, they talk just like this female right here. They get cheated on once in 8th grade and be dogs until they in their 30s. Seek help. You're effing nuts. You're a nutcase. But these are the same women who talk about colorism or talk about their experience when they got hit and all that other stuff. And then even though it was 10 years ago, oh, I got beat on. Boo, boo, boo. But nobody tells them to get therapy, right? Let's talk about what average women do and get away with and average men can't get away with. Now, this is a story about, this situation where this guy was with this female. He no longer wanted to accept her toxic behavior. So why are we giving him a hard time? So this man came forward to tell his experience about being with a toxic female, because these dudes try to tell you and sell you a dream that the average woman is going to make you super happy, where you're going to forget that she's not good looking. And then when you turn around, the man is on the brink of suicide. He has drug problems. He has a heart attack. Some of them have a heart attack and they die. Or he does the ultimate thing and cheats on this female because she's not satisfying him in the bedroom, because she don't think she should. Because she was told that average men need to work 10 times harder for women, even if a woman is average. So when a man leaves a toxic relationship, he's a coward. He doesn't have game. So every single time you turn around, every time a man says, oh, this chick was messed up, man, you should have had more game. You should have did this. You should have did that. It's never on this woman. So it's always them caping for average women, but never telling the truth about how average women are. Why can't a man get with a beautiful Asian woman and be happy without you trying to put an actress next to it? Why do you think the dude should be with something like this and paying for her weave? Or be with somebody like this who had to take off the makeup? Most of these women nowadays got the advantage over guys. They have about 4 guys saying good, they got 4 guys on the phone that she's playing around with, calling them all handsome. We got women out here thinking like this, who's average themselves, but they want you to fight and lose your life fighting for her because she cheated on you. These dudes want you to be out here losing your job and losing your money and losing your freedom over some average women. Or they want you to get with women like this. Or get with women who after they've been with a guy like this, broke, standing in the cold with dudes, the guys they wanted to be with, now you got to pay the price. They want you to be with women who been around tons of dudes who got trains ran on them, but you should accept her because that's the deal. They never, ever, ever get the benefits of average men. They're not on the side of men. In any kind of other society, dudes would already drag them out and got rid of them. They would have found them and got rid of them. In general, they would have did it. But in this society in America, these dudes are the benefactors of women. So the more they talk, blah, 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 maybe they get 1 or 2 guys. Because a lot of these dudes, especially in, the comment section, they think they're on top. So they want to overlord guys and be like, yeah, you got to take that fat girl. Because I said so. You're not self-improved. And then when you are self-improved, well, you still have to take that fat girl. You still got to take that. So you still got to do this. You could never be above them because they sit back and think they make the rules. In general, they don't make the rules. You're supposed to be happy with this every night. Going to bed or getting up with looking like this every day. Even when she try to wear makeup, she still don't look good. But you're supposed to be paying for that makeup for her to try to look good. You're supposed to go back to a female who dissed you. Like, imagine this, right? Will Smith went back to Chile and started dating her because that's the way it's supposed to be. The nice guy supposed to go back to the female who dissed him years ago and pay her bills. Because it don't work like that. The nice guy can't get nothing. The nice guy can't get the women he want. In their world, they create the rules. The average guy can't get with women from other cultures because they always want money and all this other stuff. So why would you go somewhere else? Why would you go to another country and get used by a woman who looks better than the women who you're going to get used here? Or why would you even try to go to another country and get married to a woman? Because look, if I see you happy in a marriage, I'm going to try to sleep with your wife because I don't think that you deserve a woman who looks better than the women I can get, or I don't think you deserve it because your very existence proves me otherwise that I'm wrong. So I have to come online and tell you that, hey, if you get with these women, it's always an asterisk because I say so. These women want you for your money, but they're sleeping with the mailman and the paper boy. They're sleeping with the pool boy and all that. Don't you think that these men know that Wi-Fi sleeping with other dudes? This is why the husband is sleeping with other women. But they never tell you that story. They never want you to they never want the average guy to win with women like this. Because they don't think that your existence should be with these women. They should only have the cream in the crop. They should be able to dictate who you assign to. Because you supposed to get with the crackhead and not the supermodel that she was back then. The woman who mentally disabled. You supposed to be the one taking care of her because, hey, I said so, right? You supposed to be the one dealing with women like this on social media and on dating sites because they say so. You shouldn't be happy with somebody like this. You shouldn't be happy with a beautiful woman and meet her family because it's all a scheme. The whole family is wanting to use him for his money and his resources because that's what we said so. It's no way he can get with a girl like this. The whole family on it. She want a passport, right? There's no way that an average guy over here can get with a woman like this over there. Oh, it's no way. It's no way. I can't fathom it. I can't. There's women over here. There's women like this over here, man. There's women over here like this, right? But what they don't get and what they don't say is that men in other cultures who come here, they only come here to make money and go back to their country. to make money to give money to their families. A lot of people in other countries, even females, come over here and see how messed up men are treated over here. Had a couple of females say they want to go back to their country. They're just making money over here. They say, I can't believe some of the men are devoid of just any type of basic things. This has come from a guy who used to have hackers on standby for myself, and I had PIs who tell me the real shit behind what people really was doing behind the scenes. I would never divulge this information because I don't have that information no more. But I have it in my brain. I remember it. There was plenty of women who came from other countries who told me the God honest truth about themselves. Then there's women over here who would just lie and lie and lie and lie and lie. But I'm supposed to stay here with fill the lies. Or I'm supposed to believe that these women going to be so-called good and I'm going to be live a happy life with them. Because a relationship, what they don't tell you is a day-to-day thing. It's a month-to-month thing. It's a year-to-year thing. You got to operate day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month, year-to-year. Those have to be fulfilled in certain time periods. It's based off how good you are with each other all the time. It's more like a give and take thing. It's not 100% where I'm 100% doing everything and you're 100%. You're doing nothing 80%. You're doing nothing 0%. Right? But over here with these dudes, they want you to do everything, and the women just sit back and do nothing. Right? At some point, you got to ask yourself, what is the message behind what these people are trying to do to the average guy? They try to distort him from getting with a beautiful woman at least once a year. I can say this before, and I can tell you this right now, right? As an average guy, and this coming from me, you should only get with one pretty girl or a very beautiful gold standard female one a year. If you keep trying to get with these gold women, you're going to end up being exhausted from it. One gold trophy a year is all you need. It would shut these dudes up. It would shut anybody else up. And it would give you a little happiness knowing that you got that gold trophy, this gold female that you got. Now, you can increase it to about 5. But more than that, you're going to exhaust yourself. Because in America, the gold women, they want to match their value with lots of money. The women in other country, even though they're gold, they're treated like they're silver. They're treated like they're bronze by their men. And you have to go over there mentally, secretly knowing that she's gold. But you have to obey the rules and treat her like she's bronze. Because that's the culture and that's what the culture tells you to do. You can't go over there and use that mentality. You can't go in another country and treat these women gold. Because eventually they're going to turn into these women and it's going to cost them their life. You're going to cost a female her life, her playing games with her own men. Because you treated her right. Or no, you treated her with all this different level of, oh yeah, she's so beautiful. She's this, she's that. You gotta respect other men's rules and what other men put in place. You can play by their rules, and you can enjoy it, but you shouldn't destroy and distort somebody else's stuff. Because nobody else in other cultures, most of the other people in other cultures don't deal with the kind of stuff that men deal with here. The incel phenomenon, it's not in other cultures like that. Because if that was the case, then there would be Japanese players and Japanese men telling guys to go pay for women or telling them that, hey man, I don't know any man who gives up women in general. If they gonna get with men, if they don't want to get with women, they should get with animals or get with get with other men. They don't have that in Japan, even though Japanese men are not having sex like that over there in Japan. They're not made fun of. The government want them to get in relationships. It's the women who be paying for the men, not the other way around. The men gave up already. The men stopped. But they're not shamed for it. Other countries know that their men generally can make their country look better and make established relationships, build stuff. Only over here where they try to throw men under the bus and think these men are lower than them. But then when the men do get in the high heights than them, they're gonna make videos about them, man. These guys, these dudes, they do this and stuff. He's a rich simp and he's that. But you wasn't there. You didn't know that this dude, yeah, he might not be used to beautiful women. But he had the right guys in his ear telling him not to stay away from certain women. He listened to guys like you telling him that he had to use money, or sit back telling him that he had to stay in his so-called lane. These prices are not these prices are not over exaggerated. These women do want you to pay this kind of stuff for them. These men, in general, they all want to be able to jump you anytime they want to. The space, this so-called space with Thinking Man and MGTOW and Igmore and stuff, I'm gonna go give you that. I'm gonna go a link to this video that I'm gonna tell you that's right here about some black men are not supposed to be around other black people in general. If you want some happiness and peace, I don't think some black men should even be around them. Just not to hear their rhetoric bullshit, not to hear just the things they said and how they think. Because when you start listening to these guys, they just want you to be a servant to a female. They want you to be just unhappy as possible. Because the same dudes are not going to have average men married to average women, and they're not going to ask them the gauntlet of questions. Like, hey, did your wife give you the sex you want? Hey, do your wife do this for you? Do your wife do this? Do your wife do that? They would never go interview average men who get married to average women. They'll never go and ask the men who got divorced by the average woman to tell them what happened. Because then they'll try to just blame the dude. He ain't have no game. He wasn't self-improved. It'll always be that. Watch out for these dudes who cape for average women. Just watch out for them, man, because they don't want you to be happy with something that you think attractive. They want you to be happy with what they think you should be happy with. Like this. Even celebrities are dating out in other countries, but they're not going to tell you that. This guy been with his wife for the longest. And it's Brian McKnight. He been with this chick for the longest. But they would never show you these kind of things that certain guys been with other women from other cultures longer than they ever been with women here. They're not going to show you oh shit. They're not going to show you that the average men being happy in other countries. They just want you to be a person who gives a beautiful woman a compliment, and they get to smash that woman because they get to smash that woman and then look at your comments and laugh at you and say, haha, I can get that woman, you can't. I can touch her. I can kiss her. I can touch her by her waist. They get a gratification by putting you down, knowing you can't get the women that they have. And they get a gratification on knowing that they can go out of their lane and go in your lane and take your female. Because this is what these dudes are known for, sleep with other people's wives. So if they think that you doing too much, or you got too much money, or you're smarter than them, they'll go try to seduce your wife or touch your wife and show your wife that she picked another man. Oh, and sleep with your man, and sleep with your wife, sleep with your girlfriend, and and be in your face talking about, man, you improved yourself, man, you got a beautiful wife right there. And they looking at each other like, I'll see you later on. This is what these guys want power to, because if you travel, go to another country, these guys don't have no power. This is why they want you to stay here, because this is why they want you, the whole stay in your lane crap is them to be able to move in certain lanes they want to below themselves, because they know that some of them they're full of crap, so they can't go above their levels, but they can go below their levels. They can sleep with anybody's wife they can hit, because they the so-called alpha men and the select men. So you make them mad, you tell you stand up to them, they'll sleep with your wife, and your wife will participate in it, because the average woman thinks she's better than the average man. You'll be surprised at stories of some guys that got cheated on by the certain women. They want to be able to have that ability to control you and be able to make sure that they put you in your place, just like the women do. This is why they always on women's side, because they make money from telling women what they want to hear, and they also make money and they get access to higher level of sex, even if you do stay in your lane. But if you leave that lane and you go in other countries, or you go where they can't reach you, it doesn't affect them. This is why they telling you, hey man, you don't need to stew in your anger and your sadness, because they can't control you through a woman. When you walk away from this dating crap and you become single and you just by yourself, the only thing they can do is talk down to you, because they don't know what you can physically do, and they don't know who you know. So all they can do is talk to you and try to shame you into a relationship. Now, when you get into a relationship or you have a kid with a female, that you attach to that female, they can go sleep with your wife. They can make you take your own life because you thought you was better than them. Or they can make the woman participate, where making a woman happy. Yeah, I make women happy. I do all that. How many bodies did this dude has left? How many bodies that these guys' advice left in their wake? They left behind. The stories of these people taking their advice, and you don't hear the other side of the story of guys who do take their advice. They want the average guy, they want the average woman to win, and want the average guy to always lose. So watch out, man.